6 or 7 years ago, my appendix perforated, which is a lot different than having it burst. So unbeknownst to me, I was walking around with poison going through my body. And then I was working full time at the time, and I got up one Sunday morning to go to work, and my whole side had like blown up. So we ended up in Naples, in a hospital in Naples. At that time, I don't remember really anything. I just know that I was septic, and poison was all through my body. The next thing I remember was I had all these drains out of my belly, like all the poison was coming out of my belly. But for a month, I was in and out of consciousness because I was really that sick, and ended up, long story short, having a surgery which took most of my colon and part of my intestines. Unfortunately, I didn't have health care. So I believe that I got the care that I needed, but if I had Blue Cross Blue Shield, I would have had better care. That's just my opinion. So I went back to work, and I did pretty well for like 6 years or so ago. I did apply for disability though, because I knew I was compromised, and I knew I was going to have a hard time really giving somebody 100% of myself in a job. So I went through the process. It took like 3 years, and ended up going into court. And in court, I, I got a letter from the judge stating that I wasn't disabled, that I could do certain jobs. And one was cleaning. So I joined a cleaning team here in Palmetto, where I live, and they fired me within 3 months. I just couldn't keep up. Regularly like 120, 115, 120 in weight, and I was down to 92 pounds. So they fired me. And I understand, like, I couldn't keep up. It wasn't worth them keeping me. I totally got it. So I figured I'll try retail. That was the next thing the judge said I could do. So I went into retail right after that. And then Thanksgiving started getting really busy, the holidays, and they would put me on longer shifts. So I was doing 8 to 10 hour shifts and sometimes not getting a break. And right before Christmas, I did a 10-hour shift without a break, starving, ate a bag of popcorn, not even thinking that it would make me sick. And the kernels got stuck in my intestines. And I ended up within a couple of days in the hospital with diverticulitis. That's how this all started, with the diverticulitis. And they did a surgery. They got that like cleaned up a little bit, but I wasn't able to really be like 100% me, like working and being vivacious and outgoing and sales oriented, like the person that I am. I ended up going back to work in November for a little bit of time, and then in December I got really sick again, and that's when I ended up with the colostomy bag. What happened is and from that I got a fistula, which is an infection. It was in between my vaginal area and my anus. So they couldn't treat it with antibiotics, so they ended up putting in this colostomy bag. And that was the beginning of hell, let me tell you. Again, I was in the hospital for over a month, and I was treated very well. I have to say, nurses were wonderful. They were very nice, but not having the proper insurance, they don't keep you. As soon as they're done with you, you go home. And most people that go through what I've gone through would have got a home health nurse, someone that helped me transition from hospital to home with especially this kind of a wound. And in my story, like I said, my husband and I tried, like, we blew out probably 6 or 7 bags, like just trying to figure the whole thing out. And I told you about researching it, just figuring out what kind of bag, what kind of flange, like just figuring out the whole thing it was almost an impossible feat, but we did it. And like I told you, I belong to a lot of online support groups. And one lady in Maine, she had some extra supplies, and just for shipping, she was going to send them to me, because just to pay for my supplies is about $300 a month. So nice as she was, for $10, I got probably a month's worth of supplies. Wasn't my brand, it wasn't what I was used to, so I had to kind of use masking tape and medical tape, but it worked. And like there's a lot of people who are in a lot worse shape than me, and I'm not complaining. I really am not. I'm very grateful for the people that have helped me. I just want to help other people in the process. I think that in this state, it should be mandatory that you get the same care that you would get if I was a Blue Cross Blue Shield member. Have a health home nurse come here and help me. It was really, I'm going to cry. It was really difficult for my husband and I to try to figure it out. And so that's where I am now. I haven't left my house since January because I'll catch anything. I'll catch anything from anybody, so I don't leave. Going back to it, he's on Social Security. He's disabled as well, but he took a part-time job just to get ends meet. Like it's Dollar General for $9 an hour. The man's a professional. He made much more than that as a man, as a profession. But just for us to get by, he knew we had to do something. So yes, I'm a college graduate. Yes, I do have a degree, but that doesn't mean I can't get sick. I was a social worker by trade. My degree's in human services. That's what I did for work. So being on the other end of it and getting the social services is kind of a strange place to be. My calling is now to go back to being the old me. And now that I've been through this, I can personally say, I know how you feel. I know I can help you. It shouldn't matter if you have a job making $300,000 a year or somebody on disability that's making $1,200 a month. We should all be treated equally.